Hello and welcome to a new show and a new channel. This is Strawman Gaming. I am your Strawman, and today I'm here to tell you that anyone can play Dark Souls. Or specifically, anyone can play Dark Souls 2. This isn't the video I wanted to make. The video I wanted to make was playing through the original Dark Souls because it is a masterpiece. Unfortunately, the PC version is just a disaster. It's just bad. It doesn't work. I have a high-end PC and I couldn't maintain 30 frames a second. Yes, I know DS Fix exists, but that has its own set of problems I just don't want to deal with. So today, I'm going to show you that anyone can play Dark Souls 2. Scholar of the First Sin Edition. This isn't really going to be a guide, because I'm not very good. The whole point of this is to show that anyone, even me, can play and get through Dark Souls. So if I can do it, you can do it. Simple as that. It says... I've been playing a bit just to make sure everything works, get the game set up properly. But we're going to start a new game, and I'm going to talk you through any mechanics that might not be explained clearly, which is all of the mechanics. But there's a cutscene, so I'm going to mute myself, and you can enjoy the cutscene.
Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten land. A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything once branded. The symbol of the curse. An augur of darkness. Your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drangleic. Perhaps you're familiar? No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why. Like a moth drawn to a flame. Your wings will burn in anguish. Time after time. For that is your fate. The fate of the cursed.
So you might be wondering, what was all that about? What's going on there? Why did he jump into that swirling thing? Who is he? Why is he dissolving? And answer to all that is I don't really know. If you want to know about lore, there's some YouTube channels that I'll put the link in the description, like Vati Vidya is probably the #1 go-to channel for lore discussion, but there is a very deep lore attached to Dark Souls, and a lot of people are very invested in it, but the way it exposits it to you is very, very difficult to parse out and find any meaning within it. So I'll do my best. I'll talk to everyone and try and complete as many quests as possible to try and uncover the lore a little bit, but if you're expecting me to explain the story to you, then you're out of luck, I'm afraid. I do not know what is going on with Dark Souls. I've never understood what's going on with Dark Souls. I know a little bit. You know, the mark on his shoulder is called the Dark Sign, and it affects humans. It means that when they die, they can't really die, they come back to life, but they've lost a little bit of their humanity until eventually they've lost all of it and they just become basically a zombie. But I don't know. We'll figure it out together. Or we won't. We probably won't. But go watch Vati Vidya. He does excellent videos. Okay, so this is one of the first mistakes people will make when they start playing this game, is they'll come along this path and see giant footprints. You know, that should be warning enough not to come this way, but you round this corner and we've got this boy. This thick boy. And I think there's an item up here. I think it's a ring. Well, I should clarify. I played this game when it first came out, at launch, in the original format, on Xbox One or 360, I can't remember which. Since then, they've updated the Scholar of the First Sin edition, which is like a Game of the Year and that comes with all the DLC, but it also changes a lot of things. So a lot of enemy placements have changed, item placements, some of the worlds look a little bit redesigned from what I could see. So even though I've completed this game, I am a little bit going into this blind, so it's not an experienced player showing you how to do this, it's someone that's learning this for the first time.
What seems to be the ruckus?
I'll be quiet over this strange woman.
Your face. The face of the curse. It's an undead. An undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you. You spoke to that kind old dear, didn't you?
You're finished. You'll go hollow. Yes, you'll become one of them.
Hollows prey upon men, feast upon their souls. This is the fate of the cursed.
What is your name? At least you know your own name. Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy.
Take a closer look. Who do you think it's supposed to be?
Think back, deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
Okay, the human effigies are difficult to explain. As I said, when you die, you go hollow. And you continue to hollow until you are completely hollow. In the first game, that happened, and you took an item called Humanity, which is like this black and white sprite, and you gave yourself your humanity back, and that kept you from going hollow. In this, the game seems to be more built around memory. So this is an effigy of us in our life, so we use that effigy to remind us of our humanity, and that prevents us from going hollow. That's a very, very short summary of how I understand it. but I'm sure we'll unpack a bit more as we go along. So in terms of class, you're not really bound to anything when you start. This is what you start with, and this guy doesn't cast spells, but you could level up your intelligence or your faith and cast spells, and that'd be fine. I'm probably gonna go knight. Can we look at what these are to try and explain? Is there a button help? Ah, here we go. So that's what level you are. You start level 13. Vigor is how much health you have. Endurance is your stamina level. In Dark Souls 1, stamina level and vitality, they were one stat. So the more stamina you had, the more actions you could do before it needed to recharge. Also meant you could carry more. And that meant more in Dark Souls 1, but we'll come to that in a little bit when we talk about rolling. Attunement, number of spells you can have, and it makes you cast faster. So the higher your attunement, you can have more spells and they can get more damage per second, I guess. Strength, how much damage you do with heavy, powerful weapons or that scale with strength. Again, we'll look at that a bit more later. Dexterity is dexterity, to the opposite of strength, I guess. Adaptability is a new one for Dark Souls 2. Raises various attributes to ensure one's survival, boosts agility and various resistances. I guess it's just a generally useful stat. I don't know exactly what it does. Intelligence boosts sorceries, which are like blue magic, and faith boosts miracles, which are like lightning magic. And then there's pyromancy that scales with both, or I think it scales up whichever one is lower, so you're motivated to level them up equally. And then there's I can't remember what they're called. There's like black pyromancy, and I think that scales differently again. So I think adaptability also, when it says boost agility, it means you drink or take healing items faster or perform actions faster, and that's very useful because you drink painfully slow in this. Let's go and look at gift. And this is just something you start with, and I'll try and talk you through what they do. Life Ring gives you a small boost in HP. Not really worth it. Human Effigy, we talked about, is one more chance to return to a human state. In the original game, they were pretty readily available. I think they've lowered the drop rate in Skull of the First Sin, but I'm not going to take it all the same. It's good to stay human for two reasons. One, if you want to summon NPCs to help you in combat, you need to be human to do it. Two, your health gradually ticks down to 50%. Like, the maximum amount of health you can have reduces each time you die. Human Effigy undoes that and returns you to full health. Healing Wares gives you these little things, little healing crystals. You crush them in your hand, they're consumed, and you'll regenerate health over time. I'm probably going to take them. Homeward Bone lets you teleport back to the last bonfire you rested at, or to Majula, but we'll come to Majula in a minute. Seed of the Tree of Giants, I don't remember what these do. There are trees in the game that used to be giants, and they sometimes drop these, and they have a purpose, but I can't remember what it is, so again I'm going to ignore them. Bonfire Ascetic, you burn them at bonfires, which are like the checkpoints in this game, and they make that area more difficult. And Petrified Something is like a smooth lump of whatever, and you give it... You go to say something about Dark Souls and think that'll make perfect sense, but it doesn't, because it's nonsense. You give these to some crows, and they will give you an item. The item is random, but Petrified Somethings are, I think, give you a slightly better chance of having a better item or a different drop list. I can't remember. I'm not going to take them. I'm going to take Healing Wares, because early in the game, they are probably the most useful item to have in terms of survival while we're still terrible. I'll be a man. I will be... Which is the truest me? Realistically, that one, but, you know, I didn't go on here to be insulted. So, yep, that is definitely what I look like. Face, it doesn't really matter. You can go into a lot of detail with this and make him purple and have tattoos, but after you die once, you look like a pork scratching. So there's not really much to it. So let's just get on with it. That is my true self. I look like that.
All people come here for the same reason. To break the curse. You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance.
Well, you never know. Go through the door and trot along to the kingdom.
But remember, hold on to your souls. They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
That mouth, though. Apparently this is a universe that exists without chapstick. So, what these women are, I'm not 100% sure. I think they're theorized to be firekeepers. And what a firekeeper is, it's very hard to explain. Seriously, Fatty Video, he's your guy for this. See, there's a human effigy right upstairs rather than taking one as a starting gift, so I feel vindicated in that decision. You can smash some things. There's very little benefit to it. Normally if there's an item inside it, you'll see them glowing, and you know, there's a cue to smash them. I'm going to talk to these people just because, you know, there might be good story. So, not talking to her again, she's just horrible.
This is a limbo. A link between Drangleic and the outer world.
Right. Well, it's called The Things Betwixt, so that makes sense.
I know that you must have a story.
You must have a story, I do indeed.
Why else would you visit such a place?
I don't know, why would I throw myself in a swirling vortex in a lake? You know, there's many, many questions to be asked before then. Do you have more to say?
My name is Millibeth.
Millibeth. How come you're younger than these women?
Once firekeepers.
It's not a theory, there were firekeepers, there you go.
I am here to look after them.
Are you a firekeeper?
That is what my mother did, and her mother before her.
Who keeps the firekeepers? Well, you, obviously, but who are you? Why'd you do that?
The old women were keepers of them, but now the fire shows signs of fading, and the kingdom is beset by hollows.
Okay, so the overarching story of Dark Souls is that in the beginning there was nothing. Everything was kind of grey. There was no disparity. But then there was fire, so then there was dark and there was light. And it's kind of all about continuing that age of fire. You know, do we just let things return to grey, or do we, you know, keep these fires burning? What those fires are, again, hopefully that will be unpacked to us a little bit, but for the time being, there's fire and there's dark. Human is made from the dark soul. Gwyn had the Lord. It's complicated. We'll get into it as it is revealed to us.
A journey without rest. Well, I suppose if you find yourself at an impasse.
Impasse?
But if your will is yet unbroken,
Isn't it impasse? I say
then
impasse.
you may return here
Might be wrong.
to start again.
Oh yeah. This woman lets you respec yourself if you find a soul vessel.
Now go along.
Go along. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of these women. They do give me a ladle eventually, though, so, you know, that's something. And if you want to see someone suffer greatly, there's a YouTuber who's fairly big now, he wasn't back then, called Tear of Grace, who completed this whole game using only the rusty ladle. It was just an obscene piece of masochism, but he did it. So I've come out the wrong door, just to show you that that's a thing that can happen, because I am here to inform. Been upstairs. Is it? I thought I came in this door. That's very weird, but again, human error. Problem between screen and chair, as they say in the biz. I don't know if they say that, but it's a thing I've heard. And someone said it when I heard it, so it must be true. You'll hear a lot of that because this controller isn't in the best state for some reason. The right bumper button is giving me problems. This is something you should know. In the top left, you see a little shield icon in a red box. If you're playing on PC, press M to turn that off. That has you permanently in guard stance, which means your stamina, which is the green bar, which is now gone, of course, refills extremely slowly. And it's just... I would spend ages being very frustrated, like, why can't I stop blocking? But it's because that is on by default. So this is a little tutorial area. Slash this guy. I'm going to two-hand my weapon because I haven't got a shield, so there's really no benefit to holding it one-handed. See, they just dissolve. These things tell you hold B to dash. Lovely. There's a man. There's a kind of an unwritten rule in Dark Souls. And it's unwritten because it's not actually a rule. It's kind of just a thing that is kind of generally true. Is that if you're going somewhere and it takes more than a couple of hits to kill an enemy, you've gone the wrong way. You know, not all areas are created equally. Some enemies are much tougher and others need to be much stronger to kill them. So if you go in a direction and the enemies are just taking 50 hits, you've gone the wrong way. You can go that way, you know, skill can overcome. It's not a true RPG in that sense. In that, you know, you can finish this game without leveling up once. And people that do it are incredible. They're called Soul Level 1 runs, if you want to look them up on YouTube. They'll just make you feel bad about yourself. See, again, you can hear the click, but it's an attack. You have to buy a new controller. I mean, I've had this... It's an Xbox One controller I'm using, and I've had it for about... I've had it almost as long as I've been max. I've had it almost 5 years, and it's never given me any problems. So, you know, I think it's served its term. And I don't really bear any ill will. I bear ill will in that the price of controllers has gone through the roof since I bought it, but I can't hold that against this one. Don't try and stab me with your broken sword. This is what items look like. I picked them up earlier, didn't say. That is a life gem. Now we have 21. They can be bought for, I think, 300 souls from a little shambling woman we'll come across later. Which is something a lot of people didn't like. Something that was great about the original Dark Souls was checkpoints refilled your healing items, and once they were gone, they were gone. This is the crows I was talking about. If you stand here...
You! Give us smooth! Yes, you! Give us silky!
So if I drop them something smooth, like, I think that counts as something smooth and silky. They would give me an item. Sometimes it's a weapon, sometimes it's more consumables. It, you know, it very much varies. But there's crows in all the games. The first one, the ones in Dark Souls 3 are called Pickle, Pea and Pumperum, I think. But I cannot honestly remember what these two are called. So I'm going to continue to go through all the little tutorial areas. That's where we started, so I'll do this one. I think this area is quite clever, because these white mists, normally they're placed before boss areas or transitioning to a new area. So Dark Souls 1 taught you to be afraid of... Took a hit there, I'm not happy about. Dark Souls 1 taught you to be afraid of them, but Dark Souls 2 is straight away like, no, this is a tutorial area. These white things don't even sweat it, don't even trip. It was just like nice tutorializing section. Yep, that's words. And it'll be fine. This is going to teach you how to jump, which they've made a lot easier in Dark Souls 2. In Dark Souls 1 you had to hold B, then release B and tap B to jump. In this, if I've had the settings correctly, which I do, you run, I should have lined up first, and then you jump with clicking the left stick. And it is much, much easier. Amber Herb. I don't remember what Amber Herb does. Slightly restored spell uses. Okay, so spells are cast not with a... I might be wrong, I think this is how they work. They're not cast with a mana bar, or if they are, then it'll just refill mana. But I think you get like 10 casts of a certain spell, and that will give you a few of them back. Probably not going to use it, because I've never found spells useful other than Pyromancy. But Pyromancy's been made less useful in this than it was in the first one. So if you're playing Dark Souls 1, using these hot tips and tricks that I'm giving you to take that to Dark Souls 1, which I encourage you to do, Pyromancy in that game is broken and overpowered, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Even the final boss, who is a Lord of Cinder, is weak to fire for some unknown reason. So it's just broken. There's no stat investment required. It's just a good time for everyone involved. Where it is? What's this? Oh, another item. Cracked red eye orb. They're used for PvP. You use that and it will let you invade somebody else's world and kill them. Or, in my case, get killed by them. I've never had much luck with PvP in Dark Souls. It's just not my thing. Where are we now? Bridge. These ghosts you see, for the most part, aren't actually ghosts. They're other people that are playing the game at the same time as me. So that's like an echo of their world. Until we get to an area later where they're actually enemies and it's just a jerk move. These things, I think they're called basilisks, and they turn people to stone. The giant eyes on top of their head actually aren't eyes. They're distractions. And if you can just see on its little face, like by face I mean pointy beak between its eyes, it's got tiny little eyes on there. They're its actual eyes. Does not affect how you fight them. They are very annoying, but they're not very tough. See, this poor soul here has been turned into stone by them. I can turn him back with what's called a fragrant branch of yore. Yore? I think it's yore. Fragrant branch of yore, and he'll turn back into a human. He'll tell me something or attack me. I can't remember. He looks... might be a hollow, might attack me, and then I can go in there. You used to be able to get in there, but that's a change from Skull of the First Sin. They've now gated that off. So we're going to press on. You can light all these braziers, fires, whatever. If you've got a torch, I don't have a torch, so I'm not going to. Okay, I'll talk you through a little bit of the interface. These things here are messages that can be left by other people with orange, what's called orange soapstone. There's like a selection of little strings of words you can use and piece together. So think carefully, comma, don't you dare. I don't know what that means. Probably means nothing. It's the start of the game. Use it to freak people out normally. Half a safe zone and then try head. I wouldn't look for too much wisdom in these normally. In short, try sweep. So they're often put in front of hidden walls, but I think all this is just trash. And pools of blood are where people have died here. So if you press them, you get to see their ghost. He died there. This guy's just standing here. He seems to have stabbed himself. Now, it's not a strategy I can advocate for, but, you know, do you. I'm sure he has his own motivations. Oh, is this him again? Are you going to stab yourself? Yes. Maybe that's just his thing. Maybe these aren't actually people. Maybe these are, like, curated by... Why is he so fast? I can't go that fast. Okay, so this is Majula. I think it is a genuinely pretty area. They did a great job with Majula. But I also think it speaks to the design strategy of the levels in Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 1 level design is a masterpiece. If you look up Dark Souls level design on YouTube, there'll be endless videos of people fawning over how great it was. Because it folds back on itself, and it's just... You never get too far away from the start, and you think you have, and then you open a door, and boom, you're right back at the hub world. And it's a brilliant piece of design. It's very satisfying to explore, and it's just a great game. Like I say, I wanted to be playing Dark Souls 1. I am not playing Dark Souls 1 because I just will not support that train wreck of a game on PC, so we are here. And this is Majula. This is the hub world. And over here, we have someone called the Emerald Herald, who is something. She may or may not be a queen. She may or may not be a dragon. I can't remember. She may or may not have, like, nefarious purposes or goals. Again, talk to Vati video about that. He has many, many videos. They're excellent, and he's so easy to listen to and talk to. Go watch Vati video. If that's all you take away from this video. Speak.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate?
Or merely both,
Bearer
you know.
of the curse. I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
So Estus Flask is your main healing item.
He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrin.
So you may level up by the power of the Emerald Herald, which means you can bring souls to her here, and she'll let you upgrade your stats. So we're going to do a bit of exploring of... I want to call it Firelink Shrine. I always want to call it Firelink Shrine, because that's what it's called. in Dark Souls 1, but it's called Majula. And again, I want to encourage you to play Dark Souls because it's not as hard as people think it is, but then you come to a thing like this that is worldwide total deaths, and that is... was that 283 million deaths worldwide? It's quite a lot. But, you know, don't let that put you off.
You're undead, aren't you?
How do they know? Look, I still look human.
The smell of irreversible fate. This is Majula.
The smell thing is interesting.
It is a kind of
Again, Vati Vidya talks about that, but I can't remember what he said, but there's several characters talk about my smell,
almost normal.
and I can't remember what it means.
And in Drangleic these days, there are very few places like that. I am Solden, and like you, I lost everything, and now I'm here. You probably heard that it was possible to break the curse here. Well, that's not true at all. There's nothing here for you.
So you always have this character in Dark Souls. In Dark Souls 1 he was called the Crestfallen Warrior, and I think this is his analogue in this. Just this pessimistic guy that's just given up hope. And there's a lot of that in this game, in this series, to be honest. So I can't really feel bad for him. I mean, the world's kind of fallen apart, going through like a massive cataclysm. What's that tower? I don't know if you ever get to go to that tower. Maybe it's in one of the DLCs. I don't know. Let's talk to this guy again.
Do you know much about souls? Even I'm not certain.
I'm going to start skipping.
The soul is the essence of life itself.
That seems reasonable.
Anything living, sentient or no, supposedly has one. What we call the curse is traceable to the soul. Do you see what that means? To be alive, to walk this earth. That's the real curse, right there. We undead will never die. And that's quite a predicament, really.
I don't know where that place is either. Is that a giant statue? I can't tell because of the depth of field, but I think that the thing just above my head now, I think that looks like a Head and Shoulders.
There are 4 beings in this land with giant souls. And wherever you go from here, you'll sooner or later come up against them. Each has a powerful soul. If that frightens you, then you ought to just... Do you ever cry? The journey of an
Okay, son, you have bored me. I'm assuming this is going to say something like, praise the sun. Okay, yep. Oh, Blue Sentinels, are you a Covenant guy? Yeah?
That is a wise decision.
Okay, cool.
Are weak, but the Blue Sentinels watch over us in their benevolence. Let the Sentinels.
So remember I talked earlier about invading people's world with a red cracked eye orb? My belief is that the Blue Sentinels, if you get invaded, they can sometimes appear. They're another PvP, another set of people doing player versus player combat that will appear to help protect you. But again, I'm not sure. Covenant's not my thing. Praise the sun. There it is. There's always one. Do I have a... I'll give it a wave. Hello, sun. I shall praise you later. I must press on. So I'm going to light this bonfire, because otherwise I'll forget and leave and be extremely irritated by it. So we shall rest. We shall get immediately back up. And there's a few items around here that are really valuable to have. I'll try and talk you through everything here as best I can. So in here is a man... I don't think he likes us very much. I think he's quite rude.
Hello there.
Oh, he's not that rude. He just seems quite meek.
Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin.
Oh no, that's it. He starts off meek and he becomes really cocky when you give him lots of money.
I could really use the bit.
So, oh. That's a better shield. I think that's worth saving up for. Actually, it's not. See over here, these numbers. This is how much physical damage these shields block when you use them. So this heals 95% of all damage, 90% and 85%. This is magic damage, resistance, percentage, fire damage, lightning damage, another thing? Petrification? Curse? Something? What? Poison, bleeding. That's probably curse, and that's... I don't know what that is. Help? Oh, here we go, here we go. Stability, that's an important one. Stability is how much... The higher stability is, the less stamina you lose when your shield gets hit with an enemy attack. So a high stability shield, like probably this one, yeah, 65, versus this little one having 50, and this in between one having also 50. That's pretty poor. But we don't have enough souls for any of this right now. But it was nice to talk to you. Thank you for letting me in your house. Can I break all your stuff? No. Right, let's go up here. Titanite Shard, very useful. They're used for upgrading weapons. The first 3 levels of upgrade is Titanite Shards, then large Titanite Shards, then Titanite Chunks, and then the 10th level of upgrade is Titanite Slab. There are elemental upgrades, but we'll deal with them as and when we need to. This door is presently locked. We'll find the man who lives there probably in the next episode. It's quite easy. Knock this rock off, and this gives you a Estus Flask Shard, which I haven't equipped my Estus. That would have been regrettable. What am I doing? There it is. Here. So now you can say I have 1 charge of my Estus, but if I use that shard at the Emerald Herald, I will have 2. These pigs, right? Oh, I don't want to aggro them. They're a nightmare. They're extremely tanky. They do a lot of damage, and they're just difficult to kill. I don't know really why they're there. I think they're like a joke. Like a little bit of fun, the devs are. Have you got an aggro leash? Are you going to follow me in here? Don't follow me in here. Okay, this is bad for... Come on. Out the doorway. Okay, they don't do that much damage, but they are extremely tanky. I'm just going to avoid them. That cat you can talk to, and she sells rings, and I think she's part of the Covenant. This is to a later area. This takes you up to a... Well, I'll show you. Takes you up to a shrine. I think it makes the game more difficult, so I'm gonna abstain. Yes, I'm not gonna do that. Let's show you how tanky they are. Did that do any damage? Well, that one literally didn't because it missed. Oh, the first one must have missed. Okay. I can't be bothered. They take too long. It's too much effort. I'm not doing it. Don't give up. Sound advice. This is a guy called... I want to say Leningrad, but Leningast?
No, it doesn't matter. Just help me open this door.
He's a blacksmith, if you can't tell by his black...
I packed my tools.
Don't do it.
Seeing it was vacant. And now somebody's gone and blocked the door. I've never actually killed him. My hope is... I'm not dying to pigs. I just can't do it. I just have to give up on this whole YouTube thing immediately if that happened. So they're very slow. I'm just gonna ignore them. You know, it's like they tell you with bullies at school. You know, or wasps. You know, they're more afraid of me than I am of them. I'm sure that isn't true. I want to talk to Leningrad. This should reset their aggro. If I sit... Great! The pigs have ruined everything. Don't, thank you. I wonder, yeah, I do think these things are a joke, because if new players fight, like, even a pig takes 4,000 hits to kill, that's going to put you off playing the game. There used to be pigs in the things betwixt, which look like they're weird, like, kind of monkey things. Those souls took a little while to get to me. Thank you. Can you backstab a pig? It would appear not. Oh my goodness, I don't need this. The strong attack seems to hit more consistently. Thank you for the 20 souls. That's a laugh. It's like this. Okay, so I'll get to the start of the next day, and that's where I'll end the video for today. See, this is a classic thing. Like, out here, it's very, very beautiful. You've got the high dynamic range lighting, and your eyes take a little while to adjust. What's that called? Like ambient occlusion? I can't remember. But it looks very nice. And then you come in here, and it's just a bit... I don't know, it reminds me of like the original Unreal Tournament, which you know, for the time was pretty good looking. It was overshadowed by Quake 3, but it's just not, it's not great, you know? Rusted Coin, I think you use them and they improve drop percentages for items from enemies. But I am not sure, so don't take anything I say too seriously, or literally. Illusionary wall ahead. See, that's just not, it's just a lie. Another Dark Souls channel, Dark Souls style channel I watch is they're called Gay for Games, G-H-E-Y 4 Games, and they're a bunch of lads from Glasgow, Scotland, and they're great. If you want a guide, I would recommend they do complete guides for all the Souls games and Bloodborne, and they're excellent. They are the de facto best guide on the internet. But they accuse that door of being artificial lengthening of the game, which to me is just wild, because it takes like 10 seconds in a 40-hour game, and it's just... Maybe they're joking, but they always seem pretty annoyed by it, so I don't know. See, a lot of people were thinking, do you know what, I'm just going to go swimming. And I don't want to make fun of them, because I have fallen off here before. But I'll wait till I'm past it, and then I'll make fun of them. Another human effigy. Okay, so maybe the drop rate hasn't been lowered that much, because that's my third one in half an hour. But maybe they front load it heavily. Okay, I didn't follow. Idiots falling in the water there. How stupid. And I suspect these guys... See, you can't see what they're fighting, but my suspicion is that they've attacked our friend the Thick Boy. And this is a different Thick Boy, or Ogre, as I think he identifies. But yeah, I'm not gonna fight you. You didn't used to be there. Hello. Oh, I was hoping to demonstrate backstabs there. Let's try this guy. I can hear him stomping around behind me, and it makes me very, very uncomfortable. I just got spooked by a tree. Okay. He seems fairly peaceful. I will murder him eventually, as is my wont, but for the time being I'm willing to let our differences just not define us. And this is a bonfire, and here's where I will be ending this video. So thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, please leave a like and leave a comment as to why you liked it. And if you didn't like it, leave a dislike and tell me what you didn't like and how I can make it better. But thanks, I've been your Strawman, and I will see you tomorrow.